Hello, and welcome to Intention Ascension. Today, we're going to talk about unsticking your stuck. So often, I have people coming to me that are making excuses for other people's behavior and staying stuck in the same shit hoop circumstances and can't find their way out. If this person just did this, or if I love them, they were never loved and they had a really hard childhood. And if I can just show them what it feels like to be loved, then eventually they're going to love me too. Okay. How long do you have to stay stuck in these situations with these people who aren't changing, who haven't changed, who have showed you enough? They've showed you enough about themselves. They have caused enough damage. They've caused enough pain. They've caused enough turmoil. And whew, let me tell you, when you've got people who are in your life that are unwilling to change and you are codependent upon their behavior and you are enabling them and you've allowed them to come back in. And this could be toxic relationships, abusive relationships, narcissistic relationships. And you allow this behavior and allow this behavior. Well, first, let's start identifying how you allowed this person into your life, because that's where we find shadow work. Because our electromagnetic field is going to attract people that are going to teach us things that we still need to learn about ourselves. And it's like that saying, if you don't like somebody, then imagine that that person is you because it's a reflection of you. And that's the shadow work that needs to be done. It's almost always true, but not always. There are some times where I look at people and I'm just like, not today. We're not doing this today. I'm not doing this today. But I only got there because I learned how to set boundaries. I used to think that I had boundaries. I used to think that I knew what my boundaries were, what I was going to accept and what I wasn't going to accept. But what I didn't know is what I was capable of becoming. And therefore, I settled because I thought I was at my best, right? New year, new me, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm going to do. And now I'm at my best. We are constantly evolving. So when we have not done our shadow work, we will attract people that are meant to teach us lessons. And if we don't learn the lesson and bounce and we make excuses and justifications for their behavior and we allow them to continue repeating the same patterns and we accept their apologies without walking away, it is time for you to recognize that for some reason with this person, you are stuck. You are caught in a revolving door. When you guys fight, you feel sick to your stomach, like things are not going to be okay until I know that we're okay. And as soon as we're okay, then all of a sudden I feel better. And when I feel better, then like that's it. Like that's all I want. I just want for them to be okay. And if they're okay, then I'm okay. Well, that's codependency. We're not doing that anymore. We're breaking away from those things because we don't want to attract these people. We don't want to attract these relationships with people who aren't treating us fairly, who aren't empowering us. When we are able to look at these relationships and say, I'm not doing this anymore, it doesn't always feel powerful. You'll maybe even fly into your dark night of the soul because you know it's not good for you, but you can't imagine what it's like without this person in your life. I guarantee you, if you walk away and you go through the emotions and you separate yourself from this person and you give it time, it may not feel like it at this moment. but you are going to be able to breathe again. You're going to be able to eat again. You're going to be able to laugh again. And you're going to be able to recognize these characteristics in the next people who come, because guess what? They're coming again. They're coming again, different faces, different places, same bottom line. And it's up to you to be able to recognize through setting boundaries. And your boundaries are constantly evolving and changing too, because you're constantly evolving and changing. You're going to find yourself in conversations that you once would have dove right into, listening to the drama, listening to the gossip, putting in your 2 cents. The goal is to get to a place where you walk away from those things you don't want to be a part of. You stand up for people who are being gossiped about, or you play devil's advocate if necessary, or you just walk away because you're around all these negative Nancy's and they're dragging you down. And if they're not complaining about this person, then they're complaining about that person. You don't need that. You don't need that in your life. You don't need a toxic relationship in your life. You don't need to change anybody. You don't need to make justifications and excuses to have someone in your personal space because you feel obligated to teach them, to show them, to give them the love that they never got, or they just had it really hard. Well, okay, let's look at reincarnation. And that, oh God, that's a good point. So when I look at people who have, and this is not always the case, but who have had these extremely traumatic upbringings, it is by no mistake. It is by design. And that alone can help you discern whether or not you're going to invest your time into this person. Have they really changed? Are they willing to work on themselves? What actions are they showing me? Because sometimes people who have had really rough childhoods are here because of their previous incarnations. And it's because of things that they have done, which means that they have so much more work to do in their life that you are going to most likely be constantly used, abused, emotionally abused, possibly physically abused, and you're going to deal with these behaviors and traits. Now, some people reincarnate and they have these rough upbringings because they are meant to learn something in their soul's development. They're meant to break the chain of a family line. So it's not always the case that someone had this rough childhood because they were not so great in a couple of their most recent past lives, or have chosen to come down and then just deal with it all at once. Because if you have ever